You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this episode of Fan Rank. We have been chatting with our community and are here to reveal to you today what you, the fans, have chosen as the top 10 sci-fi films of all time.
Yes, that means any sci-fi movie is on the table, except for animated. So sorry, WALL-E fans, your day is coming, but today it's all about the live action.
Let's get into it.
Come with me if you want to live.
At number 10, we have The Thing.
When this thing attacked our dogs, it tried to digest them, absorb them, and in the process shape its own cells to imitate them.
Now, this sci-fi body horror classic follows a group of researchers in Antarctica who encounter an alien life form that assimilates and imitates other organisms. The group becomes steeped in paranoia and tension as they learn that any one of them could be the Thing, and any one of them could be its next victim. So of the movie's $15 million budget, about 1.5 was just spent on the creature effects alone, and the slimy, goopy, horrifying monsters are completely unforgettable. But interestingly, when The Thing was released, people really did not like it. E.T. had just come out about 2 weeks prior, so full of optimism and charm and coming of age, and The Thing is just the total opposite take.
If it takes us over, then it has no more enemies. Nobody left to kill it. And then it's won.
So it took some time to get its due, but in the years since, The Thing has been reappraised as one of the greatest sci-fi films ever made, and it's clear that our fans agree. It eschews genre cliches, really leaning into this dark ambiguity, this open-endedness in a really interesting way. Ultimately, The Thing is way ahead of its time, and I 1000% agree that it belongs on this list.
You the only one who made it?
Not the only one.
At number 9, we have 2001: A Space Odyssey.
So we decided to have a look.
We thought it might be the upper part of some buried structure, so we excavated out on all sides, but unfortunately we didn't find anything else.
Wow, so this is maybe the only movie on this list that anyone has ever argued is the greatest movie ever made, so honestly I'm a little surprised to see this only at number 9, but fair. Despite its epic scale and its groundbreaking vision, this one is not for the faint of heart. This one is, shall we say, serious, haunting film students for literal generations. Directed, produced, and co-written by Stanley Kubrick, 2001 follows a voyage of astronauts and the sentient AI HAL into space to investigate a mysterious alien monolith. There is very little dialogue, a lot of classical music, and in lieu of more fantastical depictions of space travel, Kubrick opts for something more realistic and scientifically grounded. The genius use of practical effects makes the visuals of this film gorgeous and absolutely timeless. Keep in mind, when this movie was released, Neil Armstrong was still over a year away from walking on the moon, and the movie's themes remain topical even today as we navigate AI in our own age.
No 9000 computer has ever made a mistake or distorted information. We are all, by any practical definition of the words, foolproof and incapable of error.
But like I said, this doesn't make it an easy watch. But there is no other film like 2001: A Space Odyssey, undoubtedly one of the greatest films ever made, sci-fi and otherwise.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Number 8 is Blade Runner.
I need the old Blade Runner. I need your magic.
It was quit when I come in here, Brian. I'm twice as quit now.
Stop right where you are.
In a 2019 that's slightly different than our own, a hard-boiled detective named Deckard is hired to hunt down synthetic humans known as replicants. As he gets closer to taking them out, we're forced to evaluate, do they deserve more life? Throughout this harrowing journey, we get a crazy sci-fi aesthetic that is so detailed and feels so noir, but new at the same time, giving this wonderful blend of the past, present, and future. Unfortunately, at the time, audiences didn't appreciate all of this. It was a box office flop, and there are so many director's cuts that we don't even know what the true version of the movie is.
You were made as well as we could make you, but not to last. The light that burns twice as bright burns half as long, and you have burned so very, very brightly, Roy.
But underneath all of the confusion and marketing is a true classic, a really emotional tale, and a story that doesn't deserve to be lost like Tears in Rain.
I've seen things
You people wouldn't believe.
Number 7 is Empire Strikes Back.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
All right, I'll give it a try.
Come on, we're not going to talk about sci-fi and not mention a Star War. A New Hope got it off to a great start with an engaging story, great characters, and a sci-fi world that we wanted to dive into again. Empire Strikes Back took all of that and turned it up to 11. The villain threat was even scarier. The lightsaber duels were more exciting, and the stakes never felt higher. Why this has to rank as one of the top sci-fi and Star Wars movies of all time is simply because it has one of the most famous and well-known and surprising movie twists of all time. Shout it out if you know it.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him. No. I am your father.
Empire Strikes Back is not just a stepping stone to other movies in the franchise. It is a definitive example of what a sci-fi space opera can be, and we'll go back to it a long, long time ago in a galaxy far away and for generations to come.
I love you.
I know.
At number 6, we have Interstellar.
How long would I be gone?
Hard to know. Yes?
I've got kids, Professor.
Get out there and save them.
This sci-fi epic by Christopher Nolan follows a group of astronauts traveling through a wormhole in search of a new home for humankind, as Earth suffers environmental catastrophe. Praised for its scientifically grounded depiction of time travel, as well as its identifiable characters and emotional arcs, a lot of fans argue that this is the greatest sci-fi movie in recent memory. This apocalypse takes a familiar tone. The environmental crises, poverty, overextended resources. This does feel like a 21st century perspective on these classic sci-fi themes. I think that's why people connect with it so much, and I definitely get that. There are a lot of really emotional scenes in this movie, which I think sci-fi of previous generations didn't lean into as much overall. This film cares so much about its characters. It's not just humanity, it's us, you know?
You once told me that when you came back we might be the same age. And today I'm the age you were when you left.
I think that's why so many people voted for this film above 2001: A Space Odyssey, for example. It's a sci-fi film that you can really see yourself in. It wouldn't be my own pick, but I do see why so many people fought for its inclusion on this list, and I think I gained a different perspective on this film after reading what our fans had to say. I'm in for Interstellar.
Number 5 is Back to the Future.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style?
After a teen and his quirky scientist friend accidentally conduct an experiment that gets the team trapped in the 1950s, he has to work hard to get back to the time period he came from. What, you thought I was going to say Back to the Future? In any case, this movie fully takes advantage of its sci-fi time-twisting premise for timeless comedy. I am still laughing at every single joke, gag, and running gag in this movie all these years later.
Whoa, this is heavy.
There's that word again, heavy. Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
Plus, the climax is so exciting despite being in a comedy, and the music in this film is enough to set any piano on fire. I don't go 5 feet without this poster because I love this movie so much. I think everyone should give it a watch to cheer you up, to excite you, to thrill you, to get you excited about the prospect of time travel that is probably accurate enough, almost as accurate as Interstellar, and with quotable dialogue that we keep repeating for years.
Lorraine, my density has brought me to you. What?
Make like a tree and get out of here if you haven't seen it already. This sci-fi film is going to make your day, make your year, and make your century.
I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet. But your kids are gonna love it.
At number 4, we have Jurassic Park.
Dr. Grant, my dear Dr. Sattler, welcome. to Jurassic Park.
Love to see it. This iconic bundle of sci-fi, action, adventure, and dinosaurs needs no introduction. Jurassic Park's groundbreaking use of CGI blazed trails for the special effects techniques of today, and combined with the stunning animatronics, the visuals of this film are as fresh today as they were then. And that's what I think is so impressive about this film, the craft. The sound design, the look of the dinosaurs, the suspense, the horror, the action, and the realism of this plot makes Jurassic Park so much more than a monster movie. It feels like a believable way that dinosaurs could come into existence in a human world, particularly during that era where cloning and computer science were kind of hot topics.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think if they should.
Jurassic Park truly has it all, and it was the highest grossing film of all time until Titanic came along just a couple years later. And we could talk all day about the details of this production, the vision, the lore, and this, but let's be honest, it's also just so much fun. I'm not surprised to see this at number 4. Great pick.
No, I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
Number 3 is Alien.
What happened to Kane?
Something has attached itself to him. We have to get him to the infirmary right away.
What kind of thing? I need a clear definition.
An organism. Open the hatch.
In space, everyone can hear me scream about my love for this movie. It's such a great and simple premise. A bunch of astronauts are on a journey when they pick up an unwanted extraterrestrial passenger, and they have to take it out before it kills them all and expands across the universe. It is incredible how good this movie looks on an $11 million budget. It looks better than most 2024 movies because it knows when to use CGI and when to use practical effects to show the carnage and the creature. Battling alongside and against it is a protagonist, Ripley, one of the greatest sci-fi protagonists of all time, who makes the hard calls so that everyone can live a little bit longer, because she's really the only sole survivor here.
Listen to me. If we break quarantine, we could all die.
Look, could you open the goddamn hatch? We have to get him inside.
No.
I can't do that, and if you were in my position, you'd do the same.
This world was so expansive, so exciting, so chilling and thrilling that we got sequels, interquels, comics, and more. And this is the reason why we got one of the greatest sci-fi sequels of all time, Aliens, which took everything that we loved before, made it more scary, more exciting, and more frightening. This is the cornerstone of a great franchise that took us beyond our limits of fear, terror, and sci-fi action.
This is Ripley, last survivor of the Nostromo. Signing off.
At number 2, we have The Matrix.
You have the look of a man who accepts what he sees because he is expecting to wake up. Ironically, this is not far from the truth.
A cyberpunk masterpiece set in a dystopian future where humanity is trapped inside a simulated reality created by machines while their physical bodies are used as an energy source suspended in goop. Now, the influences of this movie are as broad as Hong Kong action movies, anime, and Plato. And drawing from hacker and internet culture right on the cusp of the 21st century, The Matrix and its legacy have resounded through pop culture for the last 25 years, from film, fashion, memes, everything. And the movie was so fresh and exciting in its time, and it absolutely holds up, but it's a sci-fi film that really feels like it predicted a lot of the big questions of the 21st century, like what is reality? Can reality be simulated? Can humanity be simulated?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Matrix.
Do you want to know what it is?
And a lot of sci-fi since then has really touched on these ideas, from Inception to Ready Player One. And we could talk all day about the groundbreaking effects, bullet time, etc., but I'll keep it short and just say that this is one of the most influential films of its generation, and I am not surprised to see it this high on the list. I 100% would have put it there myself.
Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.
All right, now before we reveal what you, the fans, chose as the #1 greatest sci-fi film ever made, we have some honorable mentions, some films and franchises that we wanted to shout out before we get into #1. So, Andrew, take it away. What you got?
Gotta go with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
This is your home. And I don't want to take it away from you, I promise. But if you can allow us, let us do our work here.
You brought others.
Now, this franchise spans literal decades, including one coming out this year, but I think this Dawn is the pinnacle of them all. The story about sentient apes and humanity, figuring out can they coexist or are they destined for war, is so engrossing. It's a story that transcends all boundaries, all genres, and it's brought to life with stunning CGI and motion capture. This is a great example of what happens when you take great visuals, an engrossing story, blend them together into a world that you have to revisit again and again. I love this one. I'm gonna go watch it right after this.
I thought we had a chance.
I did too.
But before I do that, what's your honorable mention?
Yeah, man, I want to talk about Dune. As we were getting into kind of collecting the votes and stuff for this episode, there was a lot of heated debate about Dune in the comments. Ultimately, I just think time will tell how Dune's legacy takes shape, but I do think it's very fair to say this is one of the strongest sci-fi movies we've seen in recent years.
Fear's the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings obliteration.
The scale of this production is absolutely insane. It's huge, the visuals are amazing, and this text is notoriously very difficult to adapt. I mean, we can look at the 1984 Dune as a point of reference, perhaps. I gotta say, I got Dune fever. I can't stop thinking about this movie. We're only two movies into the franchise, so I can't wait to see where it goes.
My road leads into the desert. I can see it.
It's that time. Let's find out what you, the fans, chose as the #1 sci-fi film of all time. Let's go.
Number 1 is Terminator 2: Judgment Day.
My mission is to protect you.
Yeah? Who sent you?
You did.
This sci-fi epic revolves around a robot designed to kill being sent back in time to protect the savior of humanity. He has to fight off the T-1000, a more advanced Terminator with more skills, more tactics, and the scariest glare you have ever seen in your life. Why does this film reign supreme? Part of it is the practical effects and the stunts. The makeup won Academy Awards, people, and the motorcycle chase is one of the most thrilling sequences in film history. But outside of the action, we have an emotional story about a robot learning what it means to be human and the boy trying to find his place in a crazy mixed up world that seems destined to tear itself apart.
Watching John with the machine, it was suddenly so clear. The Terminator would never stop. It would never leave him. And it would never hurt him.
No one should miss this film, primarily because the formula has been imitated by so many. So even if you haven't seen it, you've probably seen a variation of Terminator 2. The formula is so good that later films in its own franchise have tried to rip it off and can't succeed. This is a one-of-a-kind film that will always, always, always be a timeless classic.
I know now why you cry. But it's something I can never do.
Thank you so much to everybody who cast votes and dropped comments. This was so much fun to put together, and the show would not be possible without you.
If you want to affect the next fan rank, you don't need a giant worm or any kind of time machine. Just jump in the comments and let us know what you want to see next.
See you next time, everybody.
How? He is the one.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.